The Obama administration cared more about appearances than security for its diplomatic outposts in Libya. That's what one congressional Republican is charging after visiting the troubled country. Chief Intelligence Correspondent Catherine Herridge has new information tonight on just how dangerous it was before last month's deadly assault in Benghazi.
Documents obtained by the House Government Oversight Committee show that the U.S. mission in Libya outlined 230 security-related incidents over a one-year period between June 2011 and ending 2 months before the murder of Ambassador Chris Stevens and 3 other Americans. Pushed on whether security was pulled back before the attack, the State Department spokeswoman deflected.
I think I'm not going to go into all of these kinds of timeline details as to what we had when and where.
A senior Republican with the House Oversight Committee, which holds a public hearing Wednesday, says there's a pattern, one where help was requested by teams in Libya and consistently denied.
It seems to be a coordinated effort between the White House and the State Department.
Republican Congressman Jason Chaffetz, who sits on the committee, was in Libya over the weekend.
They wanted the appearance of quote-unquote normalization there in Libya, and building up of an infrastructure, putting up barbed wire on our facility would lead to the wrong impressions.
And now what critics describe as the administration's mishandling of the consulate attack is the centerpiece of a new political ad backing Mitt Romney.
The evidence is mounting as more questions arise. What did this president know, and when did he know it?
In a rare interview, former CIA Director Porter Goss told Fox that the dots were there and they were connected, but there was a failure to act.
But it is not conceivable to me that with all the warnings that have come in, the high stakes at play, that the Oval Office did not know exactly what was going on. And that's what makes this whole question of why did we get this story, this hoax, about this video fed out? Why was Ambassador Rice hung out there to dry on that thing?
After Republican Senator Bob Corker, a member of the Senate Foreign Relations Committee who traveled to Libya, confirmed to the Washington Post that U.S. agents were analyzing security camera video from the consulate, the Attorney General suggested caution.
People in Congress be a little mindful of the fact that there is an ongoing investigation and not reveal anything that might compromise our law enforcement investigation.
Fox News has confirmed that a waiver was signed by the State Department. It meant the consulate in Benghazi did not meet specific physical security requirements for a high-threat posting. The State Department manager who signed off on that waiver is scheduled to testify tomorrow, Brad.
It's such nonsense. As for Al-Qaeda, she said the terrorist group is not an insurgency. It's driven by ideology and wants to kill us all on our own soil if they must. Even if U.S. troops the U.S. pulls all of its troops out of Afghanistan. Logan was beaten and sexually assaulted, you may remember, by a mob in Cairo's Tahrir Square last year. Conference call with 2 senior State Department officials. Fox News was not invited onto this conference call for reporters. We usually are on this list, but we were not invited to this conference call. We do have a transcript of some of these quotes about the Benghazi attack, and here is one of them about Ambassador Chris Stevens. Quote, the ambassador walked guests out at 8:30 p.m. or so. This is the night of the attack on 9/11. There was nobody on the street. This is about the possible protests before the attack. There was nobody on the street, according to this call with 2 senior State Department officials. Then at 9:40 p.m., they saw on the security cameras at the consulate that there were armed men invading the compound. Again, no protest, no spontaneous protest. There were armed men invading the compound. Quote, everything is calm at 8:30 p.m., nothing unusual. There had been nothing unusual during the day outside, all day. And then the attack. Again, this contradicts directly what was said by the UN ambassador, the U.S. ambassador to the United Nations, Susan Rice, and it contradicts essentially what the administration had been saying for 5 days after we reported that intelligence officials had, within 24 hours, that this was a terrorist attack. This also comes ahead of a committee hearing tomorrow up on Capitol Hill, where a House Committee, Oversight Committee, will start calling witnesses. They have uncovered a full list of some 230 security incidents that happened in the year before on the consulate and the area around the consulate in Libya. And one of the congressmen who just got back from Libya talked about that today, and the State Department responded.
Twice in the lead up to their attack on 9/11, our compound in Benghazi was bombed. Twice the British ambassador had an assassination attempt. We were moving into 9/11, and now the White House wants to say, well, we had no direct information, no actionable intelligence. Are you kidding me? I mean, where else in the world was our consulate bombed twice?
I'm not going to go into all of these kinds of timeline details as to what we had when and where. You know, some of those things I'm guessing will be covered tomorrow in the open hearing. But again, these are all pieces that we are pulling together now.
When you go back and look at what Susan Rice said, she didn't just say this was a demonstration and it wasn't a terror attack. I remember the words she said, there was no evidence it was a terror attack. Now that is a stretch way beyond simply getting it wrong. There was a ton of evidence it was a terrorist attack. You might have said the preponderance is that it was a demonstration, or we have some evidence. So they went way out on a limb on something that was absolutely wrong, obviously wrong, embarrassingly wrong, and this is a scandal, and the fact that it only been of interest to us and to a few others is really a second scandal.